I'm president of Historic Railroad Square Association, and I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight for our memorable and historic celebration of our new vintage street clock. It's been a long-awaited timepiece and will represent our historic district in Santa Rosa, certainly for generations to come. I would like to now introduce Dee Richardson. She is a property owner and a merchant of the Whistle Stop Antiques, and she is going to introduce the major donors.
The major donors for this wonderful secret clock that you can't see right now have been huge supporters of Railroad Square forever, really, but for the last 10 years, their donations have made this possible. The Montague family, represented here in the front row, have been long-time businesses in Railroad Square, huge supporters of absolutely anything that happens. Were the reason why we were able to see that water tower over there, right on the horizon? Well, it used to be there, and it will be there again, and because of the Montague family, it was there for a while. We thank the Montague family. We thank Lee Dibble and his partners who own this building here at the end of the block. Lee, where are you? Lee's over there. Lee has always been a property owner that has stepped up when something needed to be underwritten or helped, and we appreciate that. The other major donor for the clock has been the California Preservation Conference that we hosted here in Railroad Square and in Santa Rosa about 6 or 7 years ago. The proceeds from that were given to the Railroad Square Association to do the clock. So it's been a long time in coming, and of course sponsorship by the Historic Railroad Square Association. So we're most pleased to honor our donors, to honor all of you who will enjoy this community icon, I guess I would call it, for years to come, and we appreciate you coming. Thank you very much.
I would like to introduce our most favorite and noted Sonoma County historian, Gaye Le Baron, who has written and talked about many tales of the old times in Sonoma County, and certainly right here, the train days in Railroad Square. So Gaye, please come and weave your tales for us.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, thank you. The Don Giovannis are a hard act to follow. I love Railroad Square. I always have. I was on the Civic Art Commission when this whole idea came into being, and I love the history, and I've talked before about the Italian history of this area, and today I'm going to just talk briefly about the train. But I do want to talk a little bit about the trains and what this was like down here when the trains were running. And, you know, I can't even begin to explain to people who don't understand how important the railroads were. Everything ran on train time. There were, you know, in the early part of this century, the latter part of, the early part of the last century and the latter part of the 19th century, there were 10 trains a day in and out of this station. There, you know, up trains and down trains, and people would ride locally and people would ride all the way to San Francisco. And in addition to that, the Southern Pacific Depot over on North Street had the train that connected to the Central Pacific, and you could go all the way across the country. And in addition to that, in 1905, we got the P&SR, the trolleys that went all the way to the courthouse and brought shoppers in from the farms all over western Sonoma County. So, you know, just to give you some idea, in 1906, there were 100,000 passengers rode what became the Northwestern Pacific, the up and down trains, in a town of 9,000 people. And in 1912, on the trolleys, on the P&SR, there were 760,000 passengers. So that gives you an idea of the kind of business they were doing. And everybody rode the train. People say, well, who rode the train? Everybody did. There were, you know, obviously the people who were going to visit people. There were baseball teams who were coming here to play. There were bank messengers carrying money to San Francisco, because that was the way everything traveled. Nothing traveled faster in those days than by train. And there were people who, Rita Hall, whose father was the president, or the manager of the cannery here across the tracks. He courted his wife, her mother, who lived in Fulton. She was working at the cannery, and he used to ride home with her and then hitchhike back or wait for the down train. And that was the way, that was what the train was for. So it was, not only were there passengers, but industry around the train. The cannery, obviously, which was Del Monte, the woolen mill, the brewery, the flour mill down the street. All of those used the trains, and the lumber yard. So it was very important. You know, carloads of cherries coming in from over on the PNSR from over in West County, and wagons. I've got pictures of wagons full of wine barrels, small barrels of wine, loading on the train to go east to the big cities. So it was very, very important. And of course, the automobile ended it all, and ended it very, very quickly. Maybe too quickly. Maybe we should have thought it over. And by 1935, they were all gone. Maybe the glory years will come back in a different way. There's supposed to be freight trains again in October, so listen for the whistle. And by 2014, presumably we'll have passenger trains passing through here again, because that's SMART's due date. And you know, and if history is cyclical, if it goes in cycles, as people say, and if it repeats itself, if things come around again, they won't look the same. They'll be very different. How different? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we certainly have something to bring home with us, and I trust your words, Gaye, that we're going to hear that whistle blowing, and it has come around and will come around full circle right here in Railroad Square when those trains come, and they're going to come. Just for your information, Gaye Le Baron has the Gaye Le Baron collection, which is thousands of pages of her historic collections. She donated this collection to the Sonoma State University Library, and you can view this information, her works, on the website of Sonoma State University, and also go to the library. Thank you, Gaye, for all you do for our wonderful Sonoma. I want to point out this wonderful clock that you're going to be seeing. We have a property owner here right in Railroad Square. He has property on Wilson Street. He's a contractor, and his name is Dan Shagreer. And he installed this clock for us. Hardly charged us a thing, so thank you so much, Dan. You made it possible. But I want you to please enjoy the music, the art, all the eateries, the wine from our local wineries and cuisines here in Santa Rosa and Railroad Square. Thank you for coming to help us celebrate this wonderful, memorable event. Okay, and now, where's the drum roll? No drum roll. Thank you all.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.